Alrighty, everybody. What is going on? Today we're back, and today you already know why we're here. Week number 15. Week numero 15 of the NFL season, everybody. That is week 15 if you don't know your Spanish. And here we are on doing the predictions. So before the video starts here, I will try to explain the scheduling changes and what my plan is. It's kind of weird. So if you don't know, there have been a slew of schedule changes over the past day in the NFL. Today, which is Saturday, right now it is 9:33 a.m. Central Time for me right now. So there was supposed to be two games going on today. The Browns versus Raiders, right? Yep, Raiders versus Browns at 3:30 p.m. today on NFL Network. And then there was also supposed to be tonight at 7:20 Patriots versus Colts on NFL Network. So that was the initial plan. But a wrench got thrown into the plan, and the Browns have been hit hard with COVID lately. So that game has been rescheduled to Monday at 4 p.m. on NFL Network. But this game remains. So this is the only one tonight. Then, the next thing that's going on is on Sunday, on Sunday at noon, 12 o'clock, we were supposed to have Washington versus Eagles, 12 o'clock on Fox. But Washington has currently got COVID problems. So that game has been moved to Tuesday. Yeah, you heard me right. Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Fox. As well as, yep, there's more. Seahawks versus Rams was supposed to be Sunday at 3:25 p.m., but that game has been moved as well to Tuesday at 6 o'clock on Fox. So, yep, kind of a weird system. We haven't had a Tuesday game this whole year. We did last year. But, yes. So, basically, I'm here to explain what is my plan. So, the plan, if this all goes according to plan and perfect, but, again, there's no guarantees. You know I say things all the time, and sometimes I don't carry through with making these videos because I don't always have time. But if goes according to plan, today's video is going to be for only tonight's game and all of the Sunday games. So this is going to be Saturday and Sunday only. Then the plan is hopefully tomorrow, which is Sunday for me, I'm going to film a video for the doubleheader on Monday. Because the reason I can't do that one yet is the second game on Monday night, which is my team here, the Minnesota Vikings, and they're facing the Chicago Bears. The injury report for that game has not come out yet. The injury report for that game will come out this afternoon. But this afternoon, I'm going to be busy, so I cannot do that today. So, the Raiders-Browns injury report, which is for Monday's game, that already has come out. But the Vikings-Bears one has not. So, the hope is that tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to film and upload a video about the Monday games. And then the hope is that the injury report's going to come out Monday for the Tuesday games. So on Monday, I'm going to film a video for the doubleheader of Tuesday games and then upload it. So, yep, you heard me right. 3 separate videos if this goes according to plan. The weird schedule, but this is the way I found best, is today is going to be Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday, I'm going to film for Monday, and then on Monday, I'm going to film for Tuesday. So, yep, 3 different videos, but, you know, NFL schedule gets a little weird sometimes, and that happens. But let's get into the games as we speak. So, again, today only this game, which is the Saturday night one tonight. And all of the Sunday games will be covered in this video, but not Raiders versus Browns, Vikings versus Bears, Rams versus Seahawks, and Washington versus Eagles. Those games will be in separate videos, so look out for those. This is for all the Monday and Sunday games, or Saturday and Sunday, I'm sorry. So I'm going to start pulling up the playoff picture, playoff clinching scenarios, because there are some this week, and I did not list them off last week. Or did I even make a video last week? I don't remember anymore. But let's get it going, everybody. Here we go. Playoff clinching scenarios. Beginning, we have the Patriots. I don't know how straightforward some of these are. The Patriots can win, or the Patriots clinch a playoff berth, but they need a lot of things to happen. So unless it's a super straightforward one that only involves like 2 games or 3, I'm not going to go through it, but like these involve, like the Patriots playoff clinching scenario here involves, 6 games. Like, I'm not going to go through all that. So if it's a simple one, I'll share it. Patriots can clinch a playoff spot this week, but they need a lot of help to do it. Yeah. And then we've got the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are vying for a spot in the NFC or AFC South, looking to come back in. The Tennessee Titans can clinch the division with a win and a Colts loss tonight. So this is a must-win game for the Colts to keep their division hopes alive, everybody. So here is the listings, everybody. The New England Patriots of the AFC West are second in the... Oh, I get it now. As of right now, which is Saturday, this is after Thursday night's game, the New England Patriots are second in the AFC with a record of 9-4. They're first in the AFC East. The next team up in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills at 7-6, which means they have a 2-game lead over the Bills. We've got the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 6th in the AFC, and they have a record of 7-6. But keep note, there are a lot of other teams on the docket here with a record of 7-6. We have the Bills, we have the Browns, we have the Bengals, we have the Broncos. All those teams are 7-6. So some funky things could be happening in the wild card picture this week. Let's go to the report that I've written up. The New England Patriots will be without running back Damian Harris. He was hurt when the Patriots played the Bills a few weeks ago. He left the game. Questionable in this game for the Patriots is center David Andrew, as well as right tackle Trent Brown. Those are some key pieces of the offensive line, and if they can't play, that would be very important of a note. The Indianapolis Colts will be without linebacker Zaire Franklin in this game. They also could possibly be without Ryan Kelly and Grover Stewart. They are both listed as questionable going into this game, everybody. The Colts have been turning it on a lot recently. Jonathan Taylor, possible number 1 pick in the draft for fantasy owners next year. So that's going to be an important of note. The New England Patriots have also been getting down recently. They've had, I believe, 6 or 7 straight wins. They've really gotten the Jets turning, and I think I like the Patriots in this game. I'm not even going to lie. Both teams, this is going to be a good game tonight. Both teams are hot right now. The Patriots have won how many games in a row? They've really been cooking it up. And then we've got the Colts with Jonathan Taylor, who have also been cooking it up as well, too. Both teams seem down and out in the playoff race early in the season, and now they've dug themselves out of a hole, and look where they are now. These are 2 of the hottest teams in the AFC right now. For this game, it is hard not to like the Patriots. They've been doing really well recently, and I guess why fix what's not broken, you know? I do like the Patriots in this game. I do think this could be a high-scoring affair, and I'm really excited to see how this game turns out tonight. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots in this game. I just feel like they have the edge. They have the momentum. I mean, the Colts do have a lot of momentum, don't get me wrong, but the Patriots are just on another level right now. With Bill Belichick at the helm, who knows where this team could be poised. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this game. I'm also going to do in these videos, I am going to do Vikings fans, who do we want to win? This is an AFC-only matchup. Does not affect the Vikings. I'm going Patriots. On to the next game. I forgot to read off who these teams beat and lost against last week. Last week, both teams were on a bye. Never mind. Not for this game. I should be clear with that. for the Patriots and Colts game. Both teams were on their bye week last week, so neither of them played. For this game, we have the Jets and the Dolphins coming up. I do need to warn you, Vikings fans, there's about to be like 4 games in a row of AFC-only matchups, so until I mention it next, none of these games affect the Vikings whatsoever, because we've got a bunch of AFC matchups coming up next, because we're doing the CBS-only games first, then the Fox games, and then the late games on CBS, and then the late games on Fox, then Sunday night. So because it's on CBS, the AFC hosts the CBS represents the AFC. I don't know how else to say it. So that's why there's a bunch of AFC matchups first. That always happens, though, every week. We've got the Jets and the Dolphins, everybody. The New York Jets are coming off of a... Let's see. The Miami Dolphins are coming off of their bye week. The Jets are coming off of a loss to the New Orleans Saints. The Miami Dolphins have really been heating it up lately. They have won quite a few games in a row. So let's just see. No playoff clinching scenarios in this game. The New York Jets are coming into this game. They are... Oh. It doesn't say they're standing in the AFC because they're eliminated from the playoffs. So the Jets are eliminated from the playoffs. They are holding on to a record of 3-10. The Miami Dolphins, everybody, are currently sitting at... The Dolphins are 13th in the AFC. They have a record of 6-7, along with basically every other team. See, listen to this. This is the AFC wild card. This is interesting. The Chargers are 8-6. The Colts, Bills, Browns, Broncos are all 7-6. The Steelers are 6-1. The Raiders and Dolphins are 6-7. This is going to be really interesting to watch the wild card when it comes down to the stretch. Even here in the NFC too. Not quite as much, honestly, but the NFC is going to be interesting. For the Vikings here, we've got the 49ers, Washington, Vikings, Eagles, Falcons, and Saints all within a game of each other. So this is going to be interesting to watch down the stretch, and I'm excited for it. But yep, Jets are out of the playoff picture. The Dolphins began the year, maybe, if I remember right, I believe they were 1-7. Yeah, they were 1-7, another 6-7. So if I know my facts right, the Dolphins have won 5 games in a row. They are hot, everybody. Let me tell you that. The Texans will be without right guard Justin... Wait. Hold on, I flipped these 2 games around, so let me just adjust it. I'm sorry, everybody. The Jaguars, Texans, and the Jets, Dolphins, I got flipped around on my notes here. Alright, we're good to go. The New York Jets will be with running back Michael Carter. He's been out for a concussion for the past couple weeks. He is set to make a go again this week, but the Jets will be without wide receiver Elijah Moore. Doubtful in this game, left tackle George Fant. Questionable left guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. And as well as questionable is defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, formerly of the Saints. That's where I know him from. The Miami Dolphins will be with running back Myles Gaskin. He is set to make his return again this week. They are also set to be with wide receiver Devontae Parker. He's been out for 5 or so weeks, I guess. He's been out with an injury. He was placed on the IR. He's on one of my fantasy teams, that's how I know. But he is set to make his return this week. The Miami Dolphins signed corner Damon Arnett to the practice squad, which caught my eye, because we know how Damon Arnett recently, he was released from the Raiders, a first-round draft pick in 2020, after he posted a video kind of with some threats, and yep. If you want to know more about it, you can just look into it. I'm not going to explain it. The Miami Dolphins have added a few key players to their COVID list. They will be without wide receiver Jalen Waddle in this game, assuming it stays on Sunday. Jalen Waddle was placed on the COVID list this week. He's on 2 of my fantasy teams, so I know about him quite well. Running back Phillip Lindsay and safety Javon Holland are also both on the COVID list. Questionable in this game due to injury, not COVID, is left guard Austin Jackson, everybody. I don't know how much analysis I really have to give on this game besides the fact that the Jets are not good. The Dolphins have been really turning it on recently. I like to watch the Dolphins. They've won 5 games in a row. The Dolphins are making a push to make their spot in the playoffs. And I like the Dolphins in this game, and I don't know what else to say besides Dolphins. Even without Jalen Waddle, I think Devontae Parker, he's been sitting for a while, so hopefully he can pick up in the spot of Jalen. I like the Dolphins in this game, and I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to take the win over the New York Jets on Sunday. The Texans and Jaguars are coming up next, everybody. Here we go. The Houston Texans are coming off of a loss to the Seattle Seahawks. The Jacksonville Jaguars, on the other hand, are coming off of likely a loss. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Titans. 20-0. They're coming off a loss to the Tennessee Titans. Yup. I'm sure you've seen the headlines by now. I'm sure you've seen the breaking news. Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer has been fired from Jacksonville. What are my thoughts on it? I think it was the right move to go. Urban Meyer just simply was not cut out for the job. And he just, both from a coaching standpoint and from just a character standpoint, Urban Meyer really wasn't the guy for the job. So I think it is going to be in the team's favor to fire Urban Meyer. He's been through some scandals and stuff now. Not necessarily scandals, but he's caught the media attention for a few different things now since he became the head coach. And I do think it is just simply the right move for this team to move on. Yeah. So, on to report time. I believe both teams are eliminated from the playoffs, so this isn't going to be a super long one. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-11, and the Houston Texans are 2-11. Both teams are out of the playoffs. They're both in the AFC West. So I'm not going to give a huge analysis on this game because both teams are out of the playoffs. So, yeah. So, on to the notes. The Texans will be without right guard Justin McCray. He is out for this game. Linebacker Camu Grugier-Hill is also out, as is linebacker Christian Kirksey. I believe he used to play for the Packers, if I'm not mistaken. Corner Terrence Mitchell is also out, as well as safety Justin Reed. Questionable in this game, running back Rex Burkhead is questionable to go. Jaguars, questionable in this game, is running back Carlos Hyde. That I only noted that because James Robinson, maybe now that Urban Meyer's gone, he'll get more of a chance, but they have not given the ball a lot to James Robinson lately, so that is the reason why I noted Carlos Hyde on my notes, everybody. I don't know what to say in this game besides both teams are bad. The Texans are bad. The Jaguars are just as bad. Urban Meyer is gone. I did not like him. But for this game, strictly, I think this is a 50-50 game. Honestly, a toss-up game in the schedule, per se. I'm going to go with the Texans, only because it is going to be whoever the interim. I do not remember who it is. I don't remember. Whoever the interim is, I just feel like it's their first game in the NFL. It's hard to do it in your first game. So I am going to go with the Texans. I just strangely have a feeling in the Texans, and also just because I don't want to pick the Jaguars. So I'm going to go with the Texans in this game, but really this is a 50-50 toss-up. Ooh, this is going to be a good game, everybody. We've got the Tennessee Titans set to face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, everybody. The Tennessee Titans are coming off of a 20-0 win against the Jaguars, like I already talked about. The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off of a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. They lost 36-28. The Vikings led the game 29-0, but then they almost they did let them back in, and they almost lost. But I think I'll talk more about that game when I talk about the Vikings game in a separate video. So be tuned for the video tomorrow when I talk about the Monday night doubleheader. And then I'll talk about Vikings and Bears. So I'll probably talk more about the Steelers-Vikings game in that video. So here we go, everybody. Playoff clinching scenarios, we are bound. The Tennessee Titans, everybody, can clinch the AFC South title like we talked about earlier with a win and a Colts loss to the Patriots tonight, and it is certainly possible that that will happen. On to the playoff picture. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 11th in the AFC. They're holding a record of 6-1. The Tennessee Titans, everybody, are 3rd in the AFC. They have a record of 9-4. They have a 2-game lead over the Indianapolis Colts. And like I talked about, like I've already said like 3 times, a Titans win tomorrow and a Colts loss tonight. And the AFC South belongs to Tennessee. So on to notes time. Tennessee Titans got some big news this week. Running back Derrick Henry. Oh, my computer's at 10%, guys. Running back Derrick Henry could possibly be returning for Week 18. That is big news, everybody. They might not need him. If anything, it'll be for only playoff seeding purposes. But it was big news that running back Derrick Henry, the Titans' star offensive player, could be returning, and he should be back for the playoffs then, too. They will be without A.J. Brown. This is his final, for sure, game on the IR. He could be on longer, but he is mandated to be out for this game. Left guard Roger Saffold is also out for this game, as is linebacker David Long. He's been out for a lot of the year because he's been on my notes sheet for a while. And defensive tackle Tier Tart, as well as out is corner Janoris Jenkins. They are all out for this game. For the Steelers, questionable in this game is corner Joe Hayden. He's been hurt for quite a while, and he did not play last week against the Vikings. He was listed as out going into the game, so I guess it could be a positive sign he's questionable, but not really. Defensive end Isaiah Buggs is also questionable. He did not play against Minnesota either. Titans have been a pretty good team for the most part this year. There have been a couple low spots, but they've been able to navigate the course even without King Henry on the team. He has been hurt again since week, around little before the middle of the year, I'd say. Early to mid-season was when Derrick Henry was hurt. We assumed he'd be out for the season, but look at this. He could be back by the end of the regular season already. He could be back within just a few weeks again, which would be a key piece if they're looking for playoff seeding purposes. The Pittsburgh Steelers, well, they've been a pretty hit-or-miss team this year. They've had high spots, and there have also been low spots. For this game, I like the Titans. The Titans have been a more complete team overall this year. The Titans should be able to win this game, and if my prediction is correct, I picked the Titans to beat the Steelers, and I also picked the Patriots to beat the Colts, which means if my predictions are 100% accurate, the Titans will be taking home the AFC South this week. I'm going to go with the Titans over the Steelers. I think the Titans have more of a complete team, and they've been showing it a lot since the Derrick Henry injury. They've persevered, and they've fought their way through the difficult times. Again, the Steelers have been a really hit-or-miss team. It is hard to tell what team you get each week. I like the Titans in this matchup, so I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. It's been ages now since we've had an NFC team come up to the plate. We haven't had a single NFC team the whole video yet, but finally we do, everybody. That is the Carolina Panthers, and they're taking on the Buffalo Bills. This is our first Fox early game, 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Fox. We've got the Panthers and the Bills coming up, everybody. Here we go. The Carolina Panthers are coming off of a loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Close game, but the Panthers couldn't quite pull it out. The Buffalo Bills are coming off of a close loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Remember, the Bucs were absolutely dominating the Bills at the beginning of the game, and then the Bills came back and forced overtime before the Bucs won on a game-winning touchdown in overtime. It was a good game, I won't lie, but here is my report on the game. I don't know if there are any playoff clinching scenarios. Does not look like it. On to standings. Yep, the Carolina Panthers, everybody, the Carolina Panthers are 12th in the NFC. They are holding on to a record of 5 wins and 8 losses. Remember, the Minnesota Vikings are 6-7, I believe. Yep. They're 6-7, which means they have a 1-game lead over the Panthers, but the Vikings still do have the head-to-head tiebreaker, so that is important to note that no matter what happens this week, the Vikings will still be ahead of the Panthers. The Buffalo Bills are sitting at 7th in the AFC. They have a record of 7-6. They are going to be in the thick of it with all the other teams. It is hard to see at this point that the Bills will be able to overtake the Patriots for the AFC East title. The Patriots are 9-4, which means that they are holding on to a 2-game lead over the Bills, and I believe that they have the head-to-head tiebreaker as of now, but I think these teams still do play one more time. So, as of right now, they have a 2-game lead and the tiebreaker, so this game is a must-win. If you're looking at a division standpoint for the Bills, this is a must-win game right here. The Carolina Panthers will be without corner A.J. Bouye. He is out in this game. Questionable is wide receiver DJ Moore. He's on one of my fantasy teams. Don't remember if he's in my starting lineup this week. Right guard John Miller is also questionable, as is left guard Michael Jordan. What a legendary name. You know what's funny about that? I actually have a Michael Jordan jersey. Should I get it out?
Yep. Let's do it. Right here in this bottom shelf. Oh, here it is.
In honor of this game, I'll pull it out. Right there. Can you see that? Yep, that's Michael Jordan, guys. So yeah, I'll put it over here. So in honor of this game, the Michael Jordan... Oh! That hurt! In honor of this game, the Michael Jordan jersey is going to be sitting there. Oh, that was on my funny bone, but that was not very funny. Maybe it was my humorous. Sorry. Bills will be without left tackle Deion Dawkins in this game. Doubtful is wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, and questionable is defensive tackle Star Lotulelei. Yeah, this is going to be a good game. The Panthers have had high spots, but they've also had low spots this year. Sam Darnold, not been great, at least not at the beginning of the year. Christian McCaffrey's out for the season. And, yeah, Buffalo Bills have been a pretty hit-or-miss team too, though. They've had their high spots, which is what we thought they would be at the beginning of the year. It was like Super Bowl contender Bills here. And then they've had low spots. And it's hard to make of this team. But considering the performances of last week, I think that the Bills should be able to pull this game off. Even though they struggled early in the game, they were able to come back and they fought hard and they forced overtime against the Bucs. I do like the Bills in this matchup. The Bills are just, to me, they're the more complete team, even if they don't always show it. Anyways, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, we would want the Buffalo Bills to win. They're in the AFC. The Panthers are in the NFC. And therefore, we would want the Bills to win this matchup. I do like the Bills in this game. Bills are just simply the better team, and I think based on their performance last week, hopefully they can follow that up with another good one this week. I think the Bills should be able to win this one, so I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills over the Carolina Panthers. This is a pretty interesting matchup as well. We have the Dallas Cowboys, and they're set to take on the New York Giants this week. Let's go to playoff picture. Neither of these teams have playoff clinching scenarios as far as I know. But I will... Oh, never mind, guys. Oh. There's no way this is happening. The Cowboys clinched the NFC East with a win and a Washington-Philadelphia tie. Like, usually I don't read things like that because that's not happening. There's like a 0.0000 to the 10th power 1% chance that that's actually going to happen, is that their game is going to end in a tie. So I'm not going to really listen into that. But I'm just going to say the Cowboys can get a good lead in the NFC East with this game. Everybody, the Dallas Cowboys are coming off of a win against the Washington football team last week. The Cowboys jumped out to the early lead and almost let Washington back in the game, but they were able to hold on and take the win. The Cowboys are 4th in the NFC. They have a record of 9-4. They are currently 1 game behind the Cardinals, Bucs, and Packers. So, a win here would be really important for playoff seeding purposes. and just simply for division purposes. The New York Giants, everybody, might be out of the playoffs, but nope. The Giants are currently 14th in the NFC. They have a record of 4-9, but they are basically out of the playoffs. And yeah, let's keep going. The Dallas Cowboys will be without left tackle Tyron Smith. He is out for this game. He has been battling injury a lot of the year, though. Questionable in this game is running back Tony Pollard. This is important to note because, well, it's important to note for my fantasy team because I have Ezekiel Elliott in one of my leagues, and last week Tony Pollard didn't play, but Ezekiel Elliott still didn't do that good. He was a big bust for me this year, I'm not going to lie. But yeah. So yeah, for the Giants, on the COVID list, we have corner Adoree Jackson. I'm assuming that means he's likely out for this game, unless it's just a close contact and he's vaccinated, but I'm guessing it means he's out, but I'm not for sure. Quarterback Mike Glennon is set to make the start for this game. I don't know how fans feel about that. Mike Glennon, I don't know if the Giants have any younger quarterbacks, is my question. I'm going to look up the Giants depth chart because I'm curious, do the Giants have any younger players that they could start in the place of him that could just get experience? Because, let's be honest, the Giants are kind of out of the playoffs. They're technically still in, but not really. Jake Fromm. The Giants have Jake Fromm, the quarterback from Georgia. He's taken he was a mid-round draft pick, I'd guess. But I think that there are going to be a lot of, especially if the team loses this game, there are going to be a lot of Giants fans that are probably going to want Jake Fromm to play just so they can get him the experience in case someday he does become the starter of this team. Because that would be me and the Minnesota Vikings. If the Vikings were 4-9 and they're way long out of the playoffs, I would want Kellen Mond to start for us at quarterback because I would want to get him reps. If we have Kirk Cousins out there and our team is 4-9, what's really the point? Let's get our younger players some reps. Let's get them that future experience so that they don't turn into the Vikings cornerback room that they had last year where it was everyone's first snap in the NFL. And that's why the Vikings defense was so awful last year. So, yep, you've heard I did not finish my report. Quarterback Daniel Jones is out for this game, as is wide receiver Kadarius Toney, wide receiver John Ross, and safety Xavier McKinney. They are all out for this game. Questionable, we have wide receiver Sterling Shepard. He's been hurt a lot of the year. Defensive tackle Austin Johnson, and defensive end Leonard Williams. So the Cowboys kind of have control of the NFC East. I know the division is not on lock right now, but a win here would really pin all the other teams up against the wall, and it would give Dallas the clear sail to victory. The Giants are they're mathematically still in the playoffs, but the Giants are basically out of the playoffs at this point. Based on what they have to play for and just overall, I think that the Cowboys should be able to win this game. They are the better team overall, and the Cowboys are just simply the pick in this game. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to win over the New York Giants. As a Vikings fan, this game really doesn't matter unless the Vikings can miraculously win the NFC North. This game really does not affect us. So it really doesn't matter. If you're looking at a wild card standpoint, we'd technically want we'd want the Cowboys to win, but they're so far down it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just a watch the game and enjoy it scenario for this one. I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Giants. Wait, did I list off who these teams played last week? No, I didn't. Cowboys are coming off of a win against Washington. I talked about that. The Giants are coming off of a loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. I just wanted to note that. I'm still going Cowboys. Last game on the docket for the early games, we've got the Cardinals, and they're going up against the Detroit Lions, everybody. The Arizona Cardinals are coming off of a loss to the Los Angeles Rams on Monday night of this past week. The Detroit Lions are coming off of a loss to the Denver Broncos. Playoff clinching scenarios, let's take a look. The Arizona Cardinals can clinch a playoff berth with a win this week. That's all they need is a win. As for standings, the Detroit Lions are currently last in the NFL. They have a record of 1-11-1. They're out of the playoffs, and they are currently in the hot seat for the number 1 pick next year. The Carolina Panthers are currently sitting at... Nope, not Carolina Panthers, I'm sorry. The Arizona Cardinals are sitting at 3rd in the NFC. They have a record of 10-3. Their loss to the Rams was important because the Cardinals for the whole season had been the number 1 seed in the NFC, and this week they dropped from number 1 all the way down to number 3, but they have a chance to get back on track again this week with another win. The Arizona Cardinals found out this week that wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins would be out for the rest of the regular season. They are hoping that he can return to this team for the playoffs. Likely in is running back Chase Edmonds. He's been on the IR. I believe he's been out for the past 4 games, if I remember right. But he's on one of my fantasy teams, that's how I know. Chase Edmonds is likely to return again this week. The Cardinals will be without center Rodney Hudson, corner Robert Alford. Questionable in this game, running back James Conner, which is important for my fantasy team if Chase Edmonds is in and James Conner is out. Tight end Zach Ertz is also questionable, as is left guard Justin Pugh, defensive tackle Corey Peters, and defensive end Jordan Phillips. The Lions got a blow to the offense this year, even though they're already pretty bad. Long out of the playoffs, doesn't matter. They found out that tight end TJ Hawkinson will be out for the rest of the season. He underwent thumb surgery this week. Also out for this game, running back DeAndre Swift. He has been out since he got hurt Thanksgiving against the Bears. Running back Jamal Williams is also out for this game, as is linebacker Julian Okwara, safety Tracy Walker, corner Ifedu. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say this right, so just excuse me. Ifedu Melefamu. Sorry, that's the most you're going to get out of me. Questionable in this game, wide receiver Josh Reynolds, left guard Jonah Jackson, defensive end Michael Brockers, linebacker Alex Anzalone, and linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin. For sure, Jalen Reeves-Maybin's been out a couple weeks because he was out against the Vikings week 13. And yeah, so that is your report for this game, everybody. I don't know how much to say beside the fact that the Cardinals are good and the Lions are not. Even with DeAndre Hopkins hurt, I still think that the Cardinals should hopefully be able to find a way around his injury, whether it includes Rondell Moore on the offense more, or Zach Ertz, or running the ball more with James Conner and Chase Edmonds. We'll just have to see for this one. The Lions' best player on their offense, TJ Hawkinson, is out for the season now with surgery. I do trust the Cardinals to get back on track in the seeding push. I do think that the Cardinals should be able to win this game. And with my pick, that means I've predicted why do I keep saying Carolina Panthers? With my pick, that means I've predicted the Arizona Cardinals to clinch a playoff spot this week. All they need is a win, and that is what I'm predicting right now. I'm going to go with the Cardinals over the Lions in this matchup. Moving on to the late games. I forgot to mention in the last game, for the Vikings, it really doesn't matter who wins that game because the Vikings can no longer... Well, they might be able to mathematically, but I don't think the Vikings can catch up to the Cardinals anymore. At least it's basically, impossible. They would need to win every single game, the Cardinals and Packers to lose every single game. So that's really not happening, And then the Lions are already way out of the playoffs, so it really doesn't matter who wins that game to the Vikings. For this one, we have got an AFC-only showdown. This is the only late game on CBS. Because it is an AFC showdown, the Vikings are not affected by this game. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Denver Broncos. I knew it started with a D. The Cincinnati Bengals are coming off of a... Bengals are coming off of a loss to the San Francisco 49ers. They lost in overtime. It would have been great if the Bengals would have won for the Vikings so that the 49ers would have lost. Dang it, Bengals. But the Bengals took the win, and that hurt their playoff chances, but they still are in the thick of it. The Broncos are coming off of a win against the Detroit Lions. Here we go. let's move no playoff clinching scenarios for this game. But, we can move on to seeding, and that is what we're going to do. The Cincinnati Bengals are currently 9th in the AFC. They have a record of 7-6. They are right in the thick of it with all the other teams vying for a wild card spot. So it is going to be an interesting race to watch down the stretch. The Denver Broncos are also in the playoff push. They are 10th in the AFC. They have a record of 7-6. Both teams 7-6, 9-10 in the conference. Both teams looking for a wild card spot. This is going to be interesting to see how this game plays out and how much implications it has. Report on this game. Placed on the COVID list for the Bengals this week was left tackle Riley Reiff. So he will be out for this game. He used to play for the Minnesota Vikings. He was a really good player, Riley Reiff. So it was sad to see him go. Corner Chidobe Awuzie is also out for this game on the COVID list. Out due to injury, linebacker Logan Wilson is out for this game. Questionable in this game is right tackle Isaiah Prince and linebacker Marcus Bailey. For the Bengals, no one is ruled out in this game. Doubtful in this game is defensive end Draymond Jones, linebacker Kenny Young. Questionable, we have running back Melvin Gordon and running back Javonte Williams. He's on my fantasy team. Right tackle Bobby Massey, defensive end Shelby Harris, and safety Kareem Jackson are all listed as questionable going into this game. I already listed the standings. I listed the injury report. I listed who they played last week. So I'm going to give you my picks.
Bengals have been a hit-or-miss team like actually a lot of the other teams that we've talked about today. Bengals have been hit-or-miss. There have been games where, like, when they beat the Ravens, they absolutely dominated the Ravens, and then there's also days where the Bengals just collapse, and that happens. So they've been kind of hit or miss throughout the whole year. The Broncos, on the other hand, they started up here, and then they went down to here, and now they're sitting here right in the thick of it as well. I know I've said the term thick of it like 20 times today, but guess what? I don't have another term to use, so I'm going to keep using it. This is going to be a really good game for the AFC wildcard seeding. Both teams are sitting at 9-10 in the AFC with a record of 7-6. I like the Bengals in this matchup. Do I? Yeah, I've just got a feeling in the Bengals. The Bengals, I'm going to have them recovering from their last second loss against the 49ers. It is a home game. It is Denver. But for some reason, I've just got that feeling to go with the Bengals. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this matchup. I feel like this could be a good game. I feel like this could be an offensive outpost game for them. Yeah, especially if Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams are both out. That's going to be important to note, too. Because that's their starting two running backs. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game, but this game really could go either way. And I'm excited what you guys think. Comment down below every single game. Comment down below your picks. Because I want to see if you agree with me, disagree, or disgrace. Let me know. I'm going Bengals. Moving on to the late games on Fox.
To kick off the late games on Fox, we have got a really good one in the NFC Wild Card Showdown. We've got a really good game for Viking fans. It is not the Minnesota Vikings. It is the I can't talk today. We've got the Atlanta Falcons going against San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a good game. Let's do it. The Atlanta Falcons, everybody are coming off of a win. They beat the Carolina Panthers in a very important game that put the Falcons right back in the playoff picture. So that was a really important game. The 49ers, like we talked about, are coming off of a win in overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals. No playoff clinching scenarios in this game. The Atlanta Falcons are 10th in the NFC. They have a record of 6-7. The San Francisco 49ers are 6th in the NFC. They have a record of 7-6. So this is an interesting game here. It is a really interesting one. Here's why. The 49ers are one game ahead of the Vikings, but the 49ers have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So if the Falcons win, the Vikings and 49ers have the same record, assuming the Vikings win. These two teams have the same record, but the 49ers still have the tiebreaker. But if 49ers win, they would then maintain at least a 1-game lead, and the Falcons would drop down and no longer be a threat to the Vikings. So this is a weird game. You can look at this from really any perspective. If you're looking at for the Vikings getting the highest possible seeding, then we would want the Falcons to win. But if we don't want the Falcons to be a threat to the Vikings anymore, then we would want the 49ers to win. This is just a weird game. Overall weird game here. So on to the report. Falcons only have one major injury that I've listed. Questionable in this game is linebacker Dante Fowler. 49ers will be without running back Elijah Mitchell. He's been out for a while. This is not the first time. Also out in this game is linebacker Dre Greenlaw. Doubtful in this game, linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair. Questionable defensive tackle DJ Jones. And safety Jaquiski Tart. They are questionable in this game. This is going to be an interesting one, folks. There was a period where the 49ers were down here, and then they were like up here, and then they were everywhere on the spectrum possible. They've been good, they've been bad, they've been meh, they've been all of the above. And then there's the Falcons, who've been actually somewhat steady the whole year. For this game, even though the Falcons have been kind of consistent, based on what's been happening recently, ever since the 49ers win against the Jaguars that they had, like, how long ago was that? That was week 11. Ever since that game, the 49ers have overall been doing decent. I trust the 49ers a lot more in this game. I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I think they have the better talent, and I just think overall they're the better team. This is going to be a weird game, though. But yeah, my reasoning, why do I pick the 49ers, is because recently the 49ers have been more consistent than they were at the beginning of the year. I like the 49ers in this game. I like Deebo Samuel. Dude is an all-around threat. Dude is the Taysom Hill. He's the next generation of Taysom Hill. I like the 49ers. I'm going to go with the 49ers over the Falcons. Moving on, Packers and Ravens coming up next. Oh, guys, I got 2 games left and my computer's at 3%. Will it hang on? I certainly hope so, because I don't want to have to plug it in. Well, I mean, I will after this video is over, so I want to keep going before it dies. We've got the Packers and Ravens. This is the second late game on Fox. Really interesting game for both teams. Both teams, this is kind of a must-win game, I would say. For the Green Bay Packers, they're coming off of a win on Sunday night against the Chicago Bears. They were able to put the Bears away pretty easily for the most part. The Baltimore Ravens are coming off of a loss to the Cleveland Browns. Oh yeah, very interesting end. Oh, my computer's at 2%. Interesting end of that game. What's their face? The Ravens scored, then they went for the onside kick and converted, but then they proceeded to go 4 and out, and then they couldn't advance the ball for the win. So it looked like they had a clear shot at winning, and then they just couldn't do it. But yeah, so that was weird. Yeah. So, moving on, we're going to begin with the playoff clinching scenarios. I already know one for this game. For the Green Bay Packers can clinch the NFC North this week with a win or a Minnesota Vikings loss to the Chicago Bears Monday night. The Packers clinch a playoff berth with a Saints loss and 49ers loss. So yeah. So the Packers can clinch the division with a win or a Vikings loss this week. Yeah. As for the Ravens, I do not believe they have any playoff clinching scenarios, but I'll make sure. Nope. Here we go. The Green Bay Packers are first in the NFC. They have a record of 10-3. They hold the number 1 seed because they have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Cardinals. Then we've got the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 4th in the AFC. They have a record of 8-5. They are 1 game behind the Titans, 1 game behind the Patriots, and a game and a half behind the Chiefs. If the Ravens want to advance in the standings, they would need a win in this game. The next team up in the AFC North is the Cleveland Browns and Cincinnati Bengals. They're both 7-6. So they're only one game. Both teams are only one game. Wait. Remember, the Bengals and Browns play each other this week. So no matter what, one of those teams is going to be 7-6. And it's possible the Ravens could get overtaken, unless they have the tiebreaker. So this is going to be interesting. For this game, I have not read the report. Packers on the COVID list. Defensive tackle Kenny Clark, he is out for this game. Also out, left tackle David Bakhtiari, he has been hurt the whole year. Right tackle Billy Turner is out. Doubtful, wide receiver Equinemius St. Brown. Questionable, wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling and wide receiver Malik Taylor. So they've got some injuries to the wide receiving core. Then we've got the Ravens. They will be without left guard Ben Powers, safety Chuck Clark. Doubtful in this game is defensive end Calais Campbell. Questionable, wide receiver Marquise Brown. Left tackle Alejandro Villanueva. Right tackle Patrick McCarry, who's been hurt for a lot of the year. And corner Chris Westry is also questionable. This is a must-win game for both teams. I'm really looking forward to watching this game on Sunday afternoon. It is going to be broadcasted in Minnesota, by the way. This game is shown all around Minnesota. This game will be broadcasted on Fox, so I'm excited to watch it. For the Minnesota Vikings, we would obviously want the Baltimore Ravens to win because the Packers clinched the NFC North with a win. So we would want the Ravens to win because that's our only hope, is a Ravens win. Packers have been pretty good this year for the whole year. Again, the Vikings and Packers are set to... No, that's not for 2 weeks yet. Never mind. The Vikings and Packers play each other Week 17 in Lambeau Field on Sunday night. But I thought that was next week, but that's 2 weeks. The Vikings play the Rams next week. The Ravens... this is going to be an interesting game. Overall, the Ravens have had some high spots, but there have been some low spots in the year. Packers have been pretty consistent, and I hate to say it as a Vikings fan, but yes, I view the Packers as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers, are a Super Bowl contender. I don't know the whole status on the toe of Aaron Rodgers. He said he aggravated it again last Sunday night, but from what it looks like, he's going to not opt for no surgery if he can, and he's just going to play through it, but we'll just have to see how that injury progresses. Lamar Jackson, remember, is questionable. He's listed as questionable, but he's basically doubtful for this game. The team is preparing for quarterback Tyler Huntley to make the start, with Lamar Jackson dealing with a low ankle sprain. Personally, I think that the Ravens are not going to risk Lamar Jackson. I think that Lamar is not going to play in this game, but we'll just have to see. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Packers have been the more consistent team this year, and if Lamar Jackson does not play, then I think that seals the game for the Packers. I like the Packers in this one. My computer's at 1%. Vikings fans, we want the Ravens to win, but from a logic standpoint, I think that the Packers are going to take this one. I'm going to go with the Packers over the Ravens. On to our final pick of this video, Sunday Night Football. It is the Saints taking on the Bucs. Coming up next. To close out today's video, everybody, we have Sunday Night Football again. Like I mentioned, stay tuned for the separate videos for the Monday night and Tuesday night doubleheaders. Those are going to be in separate videos because of the weird schedule, so it is kind of my only choice. So last pick of this video, we've got the Saints and the Buccaneers, everybody. The New Orleans Saints are coming off of a win against the New York Jets. They lost 5 straight games, I believe 4 or 5 straight games, but they were able to snap the losing streak with a win over the Jets. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off of an overtime win against the Buffalo Bills. I kind of talked about that game earlier. Playoff clinching scenarios, as far as I know, there are none. I will confirm here, but I don't believe that there are any. No. Not for this team, there are none. There is a playoff clinching scenario. Oh, yeah, there is. Hold on. There is still playoff clinching scenarios for the Rams, but the Rams, that game is on Tuesday, so that will be in a separate video when I talk about that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers can clinch the NFC South with a win, everybody. Otherwise, the Bucs clinch a playoff berth with a Vikings loss and 49ers loss. So all the Bucs need to do is win on Sunday night, and they have clinched the NFC South. On to my report before my computer dies. I'm going to try and do this fast. Saints on the COVID list, out for this game. Head coach Sean Payton will not be coaching this game. He is on the COVID list and out. Also out for this game, wide receiver Deontay Harris. This is the final game of his suspension. Left tackle Teron Armstead is out. Right tackle Ryan Ramczyk is also out. Questionable in this game is wide receiver Lil Jordan Humphrey and linebacker Caden Ellis. For the Bucs, questionable. Nope. For the Bucs, out in this game is wide receiver Antonio Brown and safety Mike Edwards. They are both out for this game as they are both serving their final game of their 3-game suspension. They're both out. Questionable in this game, running back Leonard Fournette. He's been a key piece of this offense. Corner Richard Sherman, safety Jordan Whitehead, and safety Antoine Winfield Jr., son of former Vikings safety Antoine Winfield, or he might be a corner. He was a DB, I know that, Antoine Winfield Sr. So yeah, even without Antonio Brown, and even if Leonard Fournette does not play, I still do like the Bucs in this matchup. The Bucs are one of, if not the most complete team in the NFL. They've shown it this year. Right now, they're currently... Oh, I missed something. I didn't do their standings. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are second in the NFC. They have a record of 10-3. They have the same record as the Packers, but the Packers hold the tiebreaker. They also have the same record as the Cardinals, but they hold the tiebreaker over the Cardinals. The New Orleans Saints are 11th in the NFC. They have a record of 6-7. A lot of other teams are 6-7. If you're like me, the Minnesota Vikings, we would want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this matchup. I do like the Bucs in this game. They're the more complete team, even without Antonio Brown for the past 2 games, and now he'll be out again with his suspension. I still think the Bucs should be able to take this one. The Saints have been a big, like a lot of teams we've talked about today, the Saints are hit or miss. There can be best team in the NFL Saints, and there can be worst team in the NFL Saints. I think that the Bucs should be able to win this game. The Bucs are a lot of times more like the best team in the NFL. They should be able to win this game. The Bucs, to me, are definitely up there in the Super Bowl conversation. I'm going right there. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going with them for this game. My computer's still hanging on at 1%, and that is going to do it for this video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, tomorrow I'm going to film a video for... So, tomorrow, Raiders versus Browns. I will film my video for Raiders versus Browns. That game is at 4 p.m. on NFL Network on Monday. Also on Monday, my team, the Minnesota Vikings, are facing the Chicago Bears. 7:15 p.m. on ESPN. Those 2 games, I'll be giving my analysis and pick tomorrow. Then on Monday, I'll do my analysis and pick for the Tuesday games. On Tuesday, we have the Washington football team against the Philadelphia Eagles, and we have the... Hold on. We also have the Seattle Seahawks against the Los Angeles Rams. Both of those games are on Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Fox. Be there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and share with your friends if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a good night. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a good night. Peace out. Skol Vikings.